You're listening to Fast Facts, Ask the Expert with Katrina Sanders.
I was having breakfast with Trisha O'Hare the other day, and while she enjoyed her high-protein eggs, I casually sipped on orange juice and enjoyed gluten-free pancakes with chocolate chips. That innocent breakfast choice sparked a long conversation about sugar, which eventually led to her sending me this incredible research article. This is Ask the Expert with Katrina Sanders, and this month we're diving into the question, what happens to the gingiva when we incorporate dietary counseling? This is one of my favorite Nature Meets Science papers, Baumgartner and colleagues of the Journal of Periodontology, because it asks a question we don't often think about in dentistry. What happens to our gingiva when we change not our brushing habits, but our diet? So here's the setup. These researchers recruited 10 healthy adults and essentially sent them back in time, diet and lifestyle included. For 4 weeks, these participants lived a Stone Age life. No modern oral hygiene products, no toothbrushes, no floss, nothing. Instead, they were given a small supply of whole grain barley, wheat, and spelt, some salt, herbs, honey, milk, and meat from domestic goats and hens, but not enough food to last for 4 weeks. So they had to supplement their diet by foraging for berries and edible plants and even catching fish without nets. They even wore Stone Age clothes, slept in typical huts, and relied entirely on unprocessed, naturally sourced foods. Now, from a dental standpoint, you would expect that 4 weeks without brushing or flossing would be a disaster for gingival health. And yeah, plaque levels went way up. But here's the twist. Despite this heavy plaque accumulation, gingival inflammation did not spike as much as we'd predict in a modern diet scenario. Why is that? When they took a look at the plaque samples post-study, they found that the composition of the plaque was dynamically different. Without the constant dosing of sucrose and refined carbohydrates, which we consume on a constant basis in our Western diet, the microbial makeup actually shifted away from high virulence, acid-loving species toward a less pathogenic bacterial community. So even without mechanical removal, this diet change actually reduced the inflammatory potential of the plaque. This diet had a dynamic influence on the subgingival and subsequent oral microbiome. These samples collected both on the tongue and subgingivally demonstrated that the role that diet can and likely does play in inflammatory measures is critical. By the end of the study, gingival indices scores were slightly elevated, but actually, those gingival index scores were far milder than expected, given the oral hygiene deprivation. The researchers of this study concluded that diet composition profoundly impacts plaque pathogenicity. I'll say that again. Diet composition profoundly impacts plaque pathogenicity. In modern life, our sugar and refined carb-heavy diet, it's a key driver for the inflammation that we see in gingivitis and periodontitis. Clinically, this means that dietary counseling isn't just about systemic health or weight or even caries management. It's actually about microbiome management. So cutting those refined carbs and sugars can literally make plaque less dangerous, even before we pick up our brush, floss, rinse technique. So the key takeaway, while I'm not telling anyone to trade in their brush, floss, rinse routine for a goat and a thatched hut, this study is a vivid reminder that the health of our gingiva is well shaped by more than just mechanical cleaning. It's shaped by the fuel we feed our biofilm. Thank you for joining me, Katrina Sanders, this month on Ask the Expert.
Please feel free to reach me on Instagram at The Dental Wine Hygienist or on my website, www.katrinasanders.com. Cheers.
All right, listeners, that is our show for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to reach out to all of our guests. Give us a follow on social media. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you have a minute, head over to our website and sign up for our newsletter. All right, we'll see you on the next one. This has been a production of Endeavor Business Media, a division of Endeavor B2B.